Well, it is certainly one of the most enjoyable times of the year for us when we get to go outside and travel up to Michigan. And we do that quite often, Mark. When we come up here, we enjoy the landscape and the beauty of this great state. And we got a good one today.
Yes, we do. We got a phone call actually late last fall from these homeowners here, and that's when we started the design process. And it all began with a vision that they shared.
Well, what was that vision exactly?
You know, the first thing that the homeowners did was actually take me into the house and said, this is where we want to appreciate it, not only inside the house, but outside as well.
Huh. It was a formal landscape that you've kind of converted into kind of a mix between formal and natural.
We do have a mix of both formal and natural, and I love how it's turned out. It's worked out really well. And what we started out with was a very formal pond, and it had a bubbler fountain in it, but that didn't match up with their vision, and they wanted more of a natural looking pond and a natural looking waterfall. And the most important thing is they wanted the relaxing sounds of falling water.
You know, I could almost fall asleep just standing here. Can you believe that? It's so comforting, isn't it?
It is very relaxing, and something that I promised the homeowners is that they could actually open up any window in the back of their house.
And hear the water.
Absolutely, and you can.
Yeah, you sure can. Well, this is great, Mark. It really is. And that view over your left shoulder is phenomenal.
Oh my goodness,
Right
yes,
past
it
the
continues past our landscaping.
Yeah.
It's a very beautiful backyard.
Well, tell us a little bit more about the detail that went into this pond and waterfall. You do so many of them throughout the summer, don't you?
Yes, we do. Well, the brick patio here is another request from the homeowner, and we picked out a paving brick that complements the exterior of the house. And paving brick is very, very different than house brick. You cannot use house brick for a patio. It just simply would deteriorate. But they will get many, many years worth of use out of this brick patio here. And we've got a very formal look and design here with the basket weave. It flares out to leave room for the stone seats that they've got here. A nice little conversation area in addition to the built-in seating that's in the pergola.
I love the stone seats.
Aren't those pretty?
Those are really cool. And talk about the blend of formal and natural. That screams that, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Beautiful pergola here. All the credit goes to the homeowner. He enjoys woodworking, and he did that himself. It was already here. We worked around it, as well as this raised block planter here. And to go with the formal garden look, we chose boxwoods, and you can see all the boxwoods that we've planted here. And in a short period of time, those are going to form a nice formal hedge, and they provide that look 12 months out of the year.
Yeah, you love using boxwoods. We talk about that a lot, but it really is a go-to for you.
It is, and another challenge here in Michigan, because there's so much natural wildlife area here, is we've got a lot of deer. And we want to make sure that everything that we've got here is deer resistant.
Well, we've talked about landscape, we've talked about the paving brick here, we've talked about the wildlife, the deer, and I see some fish inside here.
Yes, there is some activity. We've got some Japanese koi, and those are the preferred fish for garden ponds, not only because they're so easy to care for and raise, but because of their scales reflect the sunlight. And so they can be in the deep water, and you can easily see them.
Wow, fantastic. And I think we can get a glimpse of those as we're looking right now. Well, Mark, the beauty of the pond and waterfall is one thing, but surrounding this great creation of lintons are the plants, the other plants, the bark, the stone. You've done a magnificent job.
So this is the combination of formal and also natural. We're using the natural bark ground cover, which is so appropriate with the woods directly behind us here. And the stone that we've selected for the pond and the waterfall, this is actually our native fieldstone boulders. This is what you find here underground when you are digging and excavating. And so these are all the natural elements, and what I like is how these all marry together. We've got a formal brick patio, we've got a formal pergola, and then you see that repeated in the landscape. We've got the formal boxwood hedge there, And what I really like, Craig, are these topiaries. We've got a couple of little dwarf Hinoki cypress. I want you to touch and feel these here. Very soft to the touch. Also goes along with the low maintenance theme that these do a great job of pretty much naturally shaping themselves. Very minimal pruning.
You know, everything is so beautiful, Mark, but it's also durable. We talked to Lowell a little bit about his grandchildren. There are kids running over this property 24/7, it sounds like.
Yes, and with the pond and waterfall, it is a grandkid magnet. And we actually wanted them to come up here and actually sit on the stones here. They can put their feet in the water. They can feed the fish. We made it very inviting. We did not want to have a landscape here that communicated keep out.
Well, I think Lowell really, really enjoys what you've done here. And one of the things that I think he really appreciates is the sound of that falling water that we talked about at the very beginning of the program.
It's very calming, it's very relaxing. We can hear the birds and the squirrels behind us here. All we need is a little fawn to come walking through the yard. If we can get that remote to make that happen, that'd be great.
There you go. Well, any challenges that you found that were maybe in your way to finishing off this beauty?
You know, usually the challenge is through communication, but we didn't have that challenge here at all. The homeowners were really good at sharing their vision, and it all started out with walking inside the house, looking out here, sharing the vision, and then stepping out into the patio. They are avid gardeners. They have a true appreciation for this, and we did a design and then actually just made just some minor tweaks and changes to it to make sure it matched up with their expectations.
Now, you did say that you connected back in the fall with Lowell and Judy.
Yes.
And that gives you some time to work on the design and then finish up in the spring. But what about those that maybe are watching right now that want this pond and this waterfall? Is there time?
Well, absolutely, and it's not too late, of course. It's just if you want to be first on the list, we recommend that you contact us in the fall or early in the winter time. But we're doing the design work right now, and usually it takes 2 or 3 weeks to go through that design process.
All right. Well, as we mentioned just a little bit ago, the homeowners are tickled pink about this design, and you would be too if you were able to go ahead and schedule one of these ponds or waterfalls. Lowell and Judy are the homeowners, and Mark, we did have an opportunity to catch up with Lowell. What an interesting man he is.
Absolutely.
And let's go to that interview right now, find out a little bit more about this great design here in Michigan. And Lowell joins us now in front of the pond and waterfall here outside of his beautiful home. Congratulations. This is a design that, I tell you what, it is a showstopper. Congratulations.
Well, thank you, and appreciate the fine work your team did in putting it all together.
Well, Mark has led that team for years, and he connected with you and you with him back in the fall, correct?
That's correct. We saw a TV ad late at night and didn't otherwise know that you had the service in Elkhart, but it looked intriguing. We made a trip down and were treated very well in the preparation for this design.
Now, Lowell, you had some part in this design back here, and the arbor was really your work, your handiwork.
Yes, the arbor is our work, and you can see I have a need for symmetry, and we have the symmetry in the arbor and in the overall layout, and it was important to us to have some symmetry in the pond preparation.
Well, Mark is big on symmetry as well, so you're talking his language for sure. What was the one thing that your wife liked most about the design? What did Judy like?
You know, I think she was impressed that not only your team could come up with really good ideas, but could also accept and incorporate good ideas. So it was a blend of what we were looking for, plus some professional advice about what might look good in the space.
Gotcha. Lowell, what did you like about what went on out here?
You know, I have to say I like the appearance, I like the rocks, I like the design, but I really like the sound. It's just the right amount. You get the sense that there's a waterfall. It's not overpowering to conversation, but it's very pleasant.
Well, I would think that you probably would recommend Linton's for anybody that's watching, like you were in the fall.
I would. The design team was good. The execution was flawless. The team that did the installation came and stayed on task until it was complete. They kept all their promises, and we were happy with the result.
You gotta like that. Another satisfied customer of Linton's Enchanted Gardens. And I think Mark is going to join us now, if you don't mind, Lowell. And Mark, what do you have here for us?
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to work for both you and your wife, Judy. This has been a neat process going through this. We started this way back last fall, and the vision became a reality here.
All right.
Much appreciated, Mark. Very lovely.
Thank you.
Well, very good. And I tell you, Lowell, it's been a joy to come out here and visit with you, and we wish you the very best as you continue enjoying the rest of the spring and summer.
Thank you very much. Much appreciation to your team.
All right. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Craig.
We've got much more coming up on the program, so stay with us. We'll be right back.